I had failed to check in advance on the matter of native guides, depending upon the word of authority, which would have given me to understand that the guides, two natives who could speak understandable pidgin, would be waiting for me on time at the jump-off, which was to be the observation post. As often happened with those people, they failed to show up. We waited for 30 minutes, I vainly calling the native camp on the phone all the while. Finally, we took off without them, the men of the patrol cursing the laziness of the Guadalcanal natives. Navigating jungle areas is always much easier if the services of native guides are available, and not having such service is always a serious handicap, often spelling the difference between knowing where you are and being completely lost. On Guadalcanal, where few worthwhile maps were ever given to us, this was doubly true. As the trail on which we had walked from the OP gradually dwindled into a path and then finally faded out altogether, I too pondered bitterly in between machete whacks on the inadequacy of the Guadalcanal guide service. Two capable officers were running that guide service, and a labor pool along with it, keeping many natives housed in a compound near the airstrip and performing invaluable service thereby. Major Clemens and Captain, later Major Trench, were their names, if I remember correctly, both Britishers. The sad control of the guide service was no fault of theirs, as both of these men were hard-working officers, kept steadily busy at 1,001 tasks involving the services of natives all over the island. The guide service was only a small part of their total headache. We knew this, and it was one reason why I did not run down to the camp for assistance. But early in the trip I began to wish that I had done that very thing, for it looked as though we would never find a trail, never get through cutting. We chopped on for 2 hours, trading off on the machetes, and halting now and then to take a hone to a blade nicked on some of the resin-bearing vines. Blade edges were often chipped on particles of hardened minerals, which had solidified into tiny stalactites on vines or saplings. We kept hoping, as always, to find a ready trail which would make our trip easier, but until we should see one, we would have to continue cutting our way, navigating through the densely undergrown rainforest by the only sure method, that of following a compass azimuth. Following an azimuth in the jungle is like many other things the infantry has to do. It is as simple as can be, but difficult as hell. Having no view ahead, the leader cannot practicably sight an azimuth from tree to tree and cut straight along the established line. Trees are usually too close together in the jungle, and undergrowth closes in front like pea-soup fog, so that the route must be laid out by pointing the compass as a finger, after offsetting the dial for proper allowance, and then trying to cut in the proper direction. If the proper direction happens to be blocked off by trees or other insurmountables, the cutting must tack around them.